Hello everyone, this is Jeremy Daniels, bringing you another World of Warships video, starring again Ace of the Darkfang clan. This is one that I got sent back around the turn of the year, and one thing I just want to point out, let's just point and mock the Tier 4 Langley and Tier 4 Hosho, who divisioned up with a couple of Tier 5s, specifically to try to beat the Tier 5 matchmaking to force their allies to be top tier. Instead, the Hosho and the Langley both got dragged into a Tier 7 match. Normally, I wouldn't advocate pointing and laughing at people who fail div like that, but anytime they see something like that happen, you know it's because they were intentionally trying to manipulate the matchmaker. Anyway. So Ace is here in the Colorado, the Tier 7 US battleship. And he is top tier battleship, along with the other Colorado, here on the neighbor's map. A little bit of talking going on in chat there, both in team and all chat. But this was a bit of a... Ace was pretty excited to send me this match because he got a pretty decent result out of it, all things told. So, Colorado, Tier 7 US battleship, recently buffed. It used to be that the Colorado only had about 53,500 hit points. It got given about another 6,000. Now, it did have its Sigma changed. The Sigma on the A hull was increased from 1.8 to 1.9. The Sigma on the Bravo hull, the B hull, the upgrade, was reduced from 2 to 1.9. All told, I think that's going to end up making the low tier or the initial play on the Colorado a little bit more palatable. And actually, when I leveled my Colorado up, I had to get from the A to the B to the C hull to get it fully upgraded. That was a bit of a pain. Ace took a little bit of a pot shot at Minakaze. No, he got a hit on him too. About 5,000 damage. That is not a happy Minakaze there, I can assure you. A little bit of a bug with the numbers where it showed the damage total, dropped down and went back up. Probably just something with the replay system. Let's see here. Take a few errant shots from the enemy Colorado up there. Now the Colorado has two main claims to fame. One, it has a extremely thick belt. I think it's even thicker than the... Well, I believe it's thicker than... I know it's thicker than the North Carolina and the Iowa. I think it may even be thicker than the Montana, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, Ace took a little bit of damage there, showing a bit of broadside, but at this range, it's a little unlikely that he's going to take any major hits. Because the only way the Colorado is going to be able to hit him is by using a spotter plane, and he doesn't have anyone aiming at him at present. Now Ace is going down to the A point, mostly because if he tried to go in the mid, he would be getting shot from all sides, and there'd be only that one destroyer. There'd only be the one destroyer, the Podavoyski, to support him. And since Podavoyski would be trying to be all sneaky, as he should be, that means the only person in the middle there for the enemy team to shoot would be Ace. And if you're the only one for the enemy to shoot at, you're just going to be taking a lot of coming shells. Now Ace's team is already down 2 destroyers, but the enemy is down 3, so they have they're still off to a pretty decent start. Also, In case you didn't know, so there is a ship on here that isn't presently in the tech tree or for sale, the Makarov. So that must be a super tester there who just got obliterated by the Texas. Just because it's a new ship, just because it's a Russian ship, just because it's a premium, doesn't mean that it is invincible. Now, Ace put a volley out on that new Mex. Yeah, nothing really good from it as of yet. I just remember most of my videos that I post up, if they start off slow, they have quite the exciting ending. So there was a little bit of a lemming train here. Nothing too bad, but a little bit of one. The enemy, or the Allied Independence, is trying to come along with the fleet along the south here. We have a Fubuki way up in the north there, playing around with the enemy. And it has been 6 minutes into the match, and only now has 1 point been capped. Now the enemy team only has just started trying to cap the sea cap. So while they are up by 1 ship at present, they're still going to have to be very aggressive to make use of their advantage at present. Now, like I said, the Allied Independence is moving along with the fleet, or at least trying to. The Langley, on the other hand, is just kind of sitting there, and that's not a good call as an aircraft carrier. Now, the Langley, to his credit, despite being upset, though he shouldn't be terribly upset because he brought it on himself with the purposeful fail divisioning. But I've seen people who got upset because they were low tier, decided they couldn't do anything, and they just rage quit. Especially carriers who, if you have a tier 6 carrier and a tier 8 match, it's going to be painful. No way around it. But at least to Savior's credit, he isn't just giving up and deciding that the match is lost beforehand. He's at least trying to do what he can. Which isn't a whole lot because he's facing tier 7 anti-air. Luckily for him, there's at least no Cleveland around, though the Texas has very stout anti-air as well. Still, Ace's team is now down 2 ships. There is only 1 enemy destroyer left, the Gade, but the Ace's team has none at all. Like, nice now, I believe. Nope, he is underway, so he was AFK initially for a while, but it looks like he just had a delayed load-in, or maybe he had or it's quite likely he had an emergency come up. Stuff happens. There's the enemy Independence, which means they're about to come under fire from that Cesare there, and that's I know I'm not quite pronouncing it right, but it is Cesare. It's an Italian ship, and I know the correct pronunciation only because we have several people who are of Italian descent in our clan. So if you ever see Grover 217 online, make sure that you kind of poke fun at him and ask him if he can talk very well while he's playing the game, because his hands are occupied. Anyway, so we're about halfway. We're 10 minutes into the match. Ace's team is now up on points a little bit because the enemy still has yet to take a single cap. People, caps win games. Period. Alright, we can see that the enemy Hosho is actually going for a snipe. Fortunately, because the Hosho's planes are slow, and the Independence is being on the ball, that's going to be a bad time for the Hosho there. Ooh, Ace finally got a pretty good hit on that Colorado. Almost 12k, which, considering that he's almost 18 kilometers out, that's not too bad. Now, well, I'm not going to critique the carrier play all that much. Outside of, one, you want to be spotting, you want to make sure that you're not just leaving your fighters sitting around doing nothing when they could be trying to do a little scouting, or being aggressive to keep the carriers from just having free reign. But I'm not a great carrier player, though I've gotten a few decent matches as of late. I just don't like how I have to fight. I have to fight the user interface to try to make it work. But still, I think the coach probably should have tried to press on with his torpedo bomber attack to get the Langley there, because not much else they can really do with his planes at the moment. We got Cesare and the Queen Liz in Bravo Cap. We have Cesare and a pair of Colorados just north of A Cap, pushing towards the enemy team. The enemy team are all clustered up in C Cap, including the Gade. Ace took a little bit of a hit from, I believe that was the New Mexico. Nothing too serious, but a little bit of damage. So he decides to, well, repay in kind. And he only gets one hit. So this is very much a battleship heavy match left here. Queen Elizabeth just took a torpedo, and they are repairing. So it's coming down to having to try to play cautiously, play cagily, because while Ace's team had the initial disadvantage and are still down by a ship, they are up by almost 200 points right now. They would have been up by a little bit more, but the Queen Elizabeth went down. And I think that the Airbus guy, it must be the Texas. He was calling out the Queen Elizabeth for falling into, well, the standard British battleship trap. Namely, they spam high explosive at everything, even at times where they should be shooting armor piercing. The whole British battleship issue is a lot more lovely. Look at there, Alexander Rolfe. Looked like he was tucked into his binocular view, didn't realize he was about to drive in front of Ace, and, well, scraped a bunch of paint off Ace's nose. Things like that just kind of happen. Now, there's a, Ace does have a torpedo bomber pair of torpedo bomber squadrons moving in. Now, normally speaking, you want to turn into the torpedo bombers. In this situation, however, if he had turned into those torpedo bombers, he would have given those 3 battleships a beautiful broadside they could have just slapped him with. Granted, he did have to turn broadside to that Cesare way off in the distance, but calculated risk and all that. Ooh, there's another 10,000 damage on that Good Nice now. So that Good Nice is on perilously low health, and the Cesare finishes him off. Excellent. Still, you got the Gade, you got the Texas, the New Mexico, and you got the Colorado, the Cesare, and the Hosho off north. So, Cesare sounds like he just took a torpedo there as well, and Ace gets some shots out on that New Mex. Nothing terribly great, nothing terribly grand, but it is what it is. Ace slows up a good bit. Doesn't want to take any more torpedoes, if he has to. And the Chesseray, I believe, is calling out Big Bad Rob up to the north. I don't know what Rob is doing up there, except for removing himself from the battle and making sure that he's not going to be useful anytime soon. Ace continues to chip away at the New Mexico, because the Colorado 16-inch rifles are, quite frankly, wonderful. And he is now even close enough for his secondary to be opening up. Got a bounce on the New Mex. He's waiting for a few more moments because his forward turrets are about to be reloaded. A couple shatters, took a few minor damage from the enemy Colorado. And now that New Mexico is on practically 0 health. Again, strong American armor, keeping him from taking too much damage. Combined, well, the strong armor combined with his good positioning. And that New Mex is about to have a bad day. His shells got there just before the ones from the Chesseray did, so there's his first kill of the match. Yeah, Texas moving in, and he triples Citadel's the Texas and nukes him from basically full health. Good gravy, that was a beautiful shot. It's not often you see a battleship devastating strike another battleship, but when you do see it, oh, it's glorious. Now, back to when Ace was actually trying to maneuver and turned away from the torpedo bombers. Like I said, normally you want to turn into them, but it was a good thing they turned away for a second reason. It actually resulted in the torpedo bombers having to spend more time in his AA bubble than would have otherwise. And the Independence just got himself a clear sky medal. Well done to him. Though it was kind of to be expected when he was going up against a oh, and Ace just got complimented in chat, at least, by one of his teammates. But, yeah, it was to be expected that the Independence was going to get a pretty stellar game, so long as even just from eating up all the enemy planes. The enemy Gade, for whatever reason, decided that he was going to go try to play with the Chesseray and likely chase down the carriers. Didn't exactly work out for him, and that's why you don't have that. You shouldn't go out and try to chase down enemy destroyers or enemy carriers as a destroyer, especially once you get up to the mid and high tiers, unless there's nothing else for you to do. You know, if that destroyer was on Ace's team right now, yeah, it'd be perfect time for him to go try to run down the Hosho. Just because it's up by 400 points. You know, only a minute and a half left, so plenty of time for him to, or not enough time for the enemy to make a points advantage, even though they have 2 taps. Yeah, it's not going to be going anywhere soon. And there, Ace just got himself high caliber and Confederate with that volley on the Chesseray. Now this Colorado is desperately running around the island because he does not want to die. That would make a little more sense if he was actually up on points, or his team was up on points, because okay, great, you don't want to die. If you lose, you're still going to lose. And quite honestly, ever since the economy changes to where you pay a flat fee, no matter how much no matter how much damage you take, it doesn't matter if you take 0 damage or 10,000 damage, or you get sunk. You still pay the exact same repair fee. Period. So, in a situation like this, it's better to go out and try to fight, try to do what you can to help turn around the match, or at least just to do more damage, at least to make the enemy pay for winning. It makes more sense to do that than it does to try to ride it out at the end of the game so that you don't die. And unfortunately, Ace doesn't manage to get the kill on that chest array. 6 seconds left. There's no way that he's going to be able to take out anyone else. But still, 137,000 damage, high caliber and Confederate. Let's just take a look at the only stats page that he sent me. Did 135,000 damage with his main battery. He got another 2,300 roughly with his secondary. But he did 42,000 damage, almost 42.5 to that Texas, and that was with one volley. It was amazing. Just a brilliant shot. Did, about 30k to the new mechs, 22k to the Gneisenau. Didn't quite finish off the chest ray or the Colorado, which again, that Colorado, if I was him, I would have turned around, charged in. Maybe he could have taken out Ace. Maybe he could have capped B. Might not have let him win. Might have. Might not have. At least he would have gotten more XP. He would have gotten more credits. But running like that doesn't do anything except for, it doesn't do anything except for reducing the amount of credits that you're getting. And he hadn't even taken enough damage to where he was going to get a Dreadnought, so it's not like he was going to lose out on those flags. But what can you do? And with all that, just shy of 1.2 million potential damage. Not too shabby, not too bad. And he even took out 5 aircraft. Anyway, hope that you enjoyed this video and that you will join me for the next one. This is Jeremy Daniels, signing off.